It was the highest authority, and all the Athenians were member of it, had as a place for the meetings the Agora, the town square. But the town square got very busy, too busy for the sophisticated and so important discussions of the assembly. And they tried to find another place inside the walls, but outside of the residential area. And that place was a rock just opposite of the Acropolis, the rock of Pnyx. They leveled the top of this rock, and because their meetings were regular and irregular, there were men on charge to call the citizens outside of the residential area to the top of the rock for the assembly. And since then, 500 BC, the Athenian assembly was called, the body of Athens was called the body of the out-called ones.
The out-called ones.
Out-called ones. Do you know the term in Greek? Ecclesia.
Oh, yeah.
Ecclesia. Ek means out, klesis means to be called out. Ecclesia. So, another major term of the New Testament was formed here during that time. The term ecclesia. When Jesus for the first time used that term in Matthew's Gospel, he also used the illustration of the rock, the Athenian rock. The ecclesia of Athens was always upon the rock of Pnyx. So he says, I'm going to build my ecclesia on this rock. And the gates of Hades, another very Greek word, will not prevail in it. The function of the Athenian democracy, the function of the Bema of Athens, turned the simple Athenian citizen, the butcher, the grocer, to a lover of wisdom. He had to be really wise to stand in front of the city and to deliver the speech. The word in Greek is philos, the lover, the friend.
Oh, yeah.
Philos of what? Yes.
He loves love.
The Athenian democracy and the function of the Bema of Athens turned the city to a city of philosophers. Of philosophers. The philosophers of Athens never went to colleges or universities. They were butchers, they were grocers, they were sculptors, they were artists. They were people that work at the mines, the quarries. But they were philosophers with the full meaning of the term. The Athenian democracy lasted less than 50 years and never was repeated again. Never was repeated again. Since then until today is the ideal of all the peoples. But never this example was repeated. There were efforts in Switzerland and other places through the centuries, but all failed. All failed. It's a miracle. Now here, let us say two things about the meaning of that miracle. By that time, the simple human being, free or slave, was just a number for the army and the labor work, nothing else. Never a simple person was somewhere registered. Never. Only members of the aristocracy and the royal families were registered and were somebody. Homer wrote these two famous poems, Iliad and Odyssey. And he doesn't mention even once the simple soldiers to whom all these wars were attributed. Who made this war? He speaks only for kings and princes, nobody else. It's the Athenian democracy who brought the simple human being from nowhere, and brought him at the face of the Athenian citizen to the most high stage of authority. And it was Alexander the Great who made these concepts of the classical culture, the culture who had as a principle the value of the simple human being, world heritage, preparing the way of the gospel. Is the Athenian democracy who said that the most valuable element of the society are not the kings, are not the princes, but the simple human being, the citizen. Is the Athenian democracy who said that the measurement of all values and principles of that society is the human, and is the message of the gospel which gave the actual price of this element. So tell me, what is the price of that element, the simple citizen?
The price for Jesus.
Yes, the life of Jesus Christ. So the classical culture is the ground on which the message of the gospel became understandable, first of all, and got a value. Without the Athenian democracy and the classical culture and Alexander's campaigns, the people should think only for kings and aristocracy and nothing else. It's the Athenian democracy who made the simple human being equal with the king, equal with the aristocracy,
Right.
having the same extremely high price. And is the message of the gospel which came at the fulfillment of the time to give the value of this price. Okay? Question of this point. Do you have any questions?